Welcome back to the Dinar Daily, where clarity meets confidence and truth outweighs the noise. Tonight could very well be remembered as one of the most defining moments in modern economic history. From Baghdad to Hanoi, anticipation is reaching a fever pitch as investors, analysts, and everyday holders of the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong prepare for what might be the most significant global currency shift of our lifetime. At exactly 8 p.m. tonight, the long-awaited revaluation of both currencies is expected to transition from private internal testing into full public recognition, a move that could ripple through every major market on Earth. For years, countless conversations, predictions, and hopes have circled this moment, and now, it seems the waiting game is finally coming to an end. The excitement in financial communities is electric. Phones are lighting up, currency groups are buzzing, and even redemption centers are preparing for late-night activation. But unlike previous waves of speculation, tonight feels different, more grounded, more structured, and more real. This isn't about rumor anymore. It's about years of reform, coordination, and economic rebuilding converging into one pivotal event that could reset the tone of the global economy. As the final settlement windows begin closing across global time zones, major financial networks are quietly sinking behind the scenes. According to several institutional sources, multiple Tier 1 banks have already started recalibrating their internal systems, preparing for potential new rate integrations. These adjustments don't happen by accident. They're part of an organized framework, a process that unfolds only when all conditions are verified and ready. Usually, transitions like these happen silently, after trading hours. But tonight's coordinated timing between Iraq, Vietnam, and several European institutions points to something carefully orchestrated and monumental. Let's start with Iraq, a nation that's fought for decades to restore not just stability, but credibility in the global financial arena. Since 2023, Iraq's leadership has pushed through an aggressive series of reforms aimed at strengthening the country's economic foundation. The Central Bank of Iraq implemented new anti-money laundering controls, modernized digital banking systems, and aligned fiscal policies with international standards. Prime Minister al-Sudani's administration took bold steps to rebuild transparency through foreign audits and improved oil revenue tracking. In just 2 years, Iraq recovered and reconciled more than $90 billion in previously unaccounted assets, a remarkable achievement that set the stage for tonight's development. This has been a long road of discipline and rebuilding, not an overnight miracle. The revaluation of the dinar represents validation, proof that Iraq's economic rehabilitation has reached a level of global recognition. For citizens who've endured hardship and uncertainty, tonight symbolizes renewal and pride. It's not only about currency, it's about regaining trust in a system that's finally ready to stand on its own again. Meanwhile, Vietnam's path to this moment tells a story of transformation through technology and modernization. Over the past decade, Vietnam has emerged as one of Asia's fastest-growing economies, a hub of innovation, efficiency, and digital strength. The State Bank of Vietnam has been a quiet pioneer in applying blockchain systems for reporting and artificial intelligence for financial monitoring. Their commitment to transparency and modernization tripled foreign reserves since 2018. Surpassing $130 billion for years, the Vietnamese Dong remained undervalued, intentionally managed to sustain export competitiveness. But now, with its reserves booming and confidence growing, the time for realignment has arrived. Many analysts believe this revaluation isn't random. It's the result of long-term coordination with Iraq and other emerging markets seeking fair global valuation. Vietnam's rise proves that consistent reform and data-backed management can lift a nation from modest beginnings to global significance. While attention tonight is focused on the Middle East and Asia, another nation is quietly proving how economic redemption can be achieved through innovation: Zimbabwe. After years of battling hyperinflation, Zimbabwe made a bold move in 2024 by launching gold-backed digital tokens. These tokens, tied directly to audited national gold reserves, introduced a new hybrid currency model, combining tangible assets with digital transparency. And it's working. Inflation dropped sharply, investor confidence grew, and the economy began to stabilize. Zimbabwe's model demonstrates that even nations once dismissed by global markets can rebuild credibility through accountability and technology. Together, Iraq's oil, Vietnam's manufacturing strength, and Zimbabwe's mineral wealth form a powerful trio of asset-backed potential, a glimpse of the future where tangible value defines prosperity again. as we approach the 8 p.m. mark. Major banks in the US and Europe are also preparing for synchronized updates. Post-market settlement windows are typically used for system realignments and ledger reconciliation, but tonight, they may also mark the beginning of a new chapter in currency history. Analysts describe the atmosphere as the calm before the financial dawn, where systems quietly align before the world wakes up to new values. Redemption. Centers in the United States have reportedly extended their hours, bringing in extra compliance and verification staff. For those unfamiliar, redemption centers are specialized facilities designated for processing foreign currency exchanges. These are not casual walk-in offices. They're highly secure, tightly regulated environments designed for accuracy and fraud prevention. Their readiness tonight is one of the clearest indicators that this revaluation may be more than speculation. Now let's clear one common misconception. Real revaluations do not happen through chaos or secrecy. They happen through order, regulation, and transparency. Each participant must undergo identity verification, currency authentication, and system tracking. Banks emphasize patience, professionalism, and compliance, not panic. So if you're holding currency, remember, legitimate processes always take place within verified, secure channels. There's also been concern about how this impacts the US dollar. Contrary to online rumors, a Dinar and Dong revaluation doesn't weaken the dollar. It actually strengthens it. The dollar remains the global standard for liquidity and conversion. When undervalued currencies finally adjust to fair value, global trade becomes more balanced. That stability flows back into U.S. banking systems through cleaner, more transparent transactions and reduced manipulation risks. For Iraq, the benefits are monumental. A stronger dinar instantly increases national purchasing power, allowing greater investment in infrastructure, healthcare, and education. Oil revenues, already robust, will now generate even more value for domestic projects and citizens. Economists predict that Iraq's GDP could jump by as much as 7% in the first year following revaluation, a clear signal of sustainable progress and renewed confidence in the nation's future. Vietnam, too, stands at the threshold of economic transformation. With more than 70% of its exports heading to Western markets, a stronger dong will expand international buying power while stabilizing inflation at home. Vietnam's transparent, tech-integrated financial system will attract even more institutional investors seeking compliant, forward-looking markets. Experts predict the same 7% growth surge post-revaluation, reflecting both foreign reinvestment and a rising middle class with greater spending power. In Zimbabwe's case, its gold-backed model could inspire a wave of reform across emerging markets. Sovereign wealth funds from Asia and the Middle East are already studying its structure, and early forecasts suggest a 30% appreciation within 18 months after full international validation. From a symbol of instability to a model of modern reform, Zimbabwe's transformation shows that even the most fragile economies can find new footing through transparency and technology. But beyond numbers, tonight's event holds a deeper meaning. It's about validation. For every investor who waited patiently through years of doubt and mockery, for every analyst who kept faith in the data, and for every citizen who hoped their nation could rise again. The revaluation represents a return to fairness and balance in global economics. It's not about who dominates, but who aligns with truth, transparency, and tangible value. However, celebration must be matched with caution. Whenever major financial transitions happen, opportunists appear. If you hold currency, protect yourself. Never share personal or financial details through unverified channels. Real banks will never contact you through social media or ask for deposits to secure your spot. Authentic exchanges will always follow documented, lawful procedures. As the night gives way to dawn, global banking systems will begin reflecting the changes. Rate tables will refresh, and analysts will start releasing new market models. For holders of IQD, VND, or ZWL, the true challenge begins after the announcement: managing new wealth responsibly. Financial maturity means diversifying wisely, saving carefully, and investing in long-term opportunities that build communities, not just bank accounts. The days ahead will also test global cooperation. Central banks, clearing houses, and international regulators will monitor closely to maintain balance. Some fluctuations are expected, but the guiding principle of this revaluation is harmony, not chaos. This isn't a crash. It's a recalibration of global value based on truth and accountability. For Iraq,